Hello, everyone. This is Melanie from Light Famous Treasures, and we're going to do another episode of Great Moments in Literature. The book of choice, I've been reading this, is Grossology and You. This is the book that talks about really gross things about your body, and gross is in the eye of the beholder. I started reading this book. We are currently halfway through this book. I am going to read the next three chapters, and the next three chapters are on constipation, goosebumps, and hiccups. So we'll do three chapters. If anybody is interested in purchasing this book, it's Grossology and You by Sylvia Branzie, illustrated by Jack Keeley. Very fun book for kids and adults alike. I am selling it for $1. Just contact me. And don't forget, hit the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe. I will be reading more and more books and bring to you great moments in. So if you like this, also throw a comment below and tell me what you think of these. So let's get to it. A chapter on constipation. Sometimes you just can't go. Maybe you're upset. Maybe you held it in for too long. Maybe you don't like to use that alien bathroom. Maybe you haven't been eating right. Maybe you're just taking medicine. Whatever the reason, if you're stopped up, you're constipated. So what do? Most people whine, I can't go. And it's okay because constipation is not very fun. Some people buy laxatives at the drugstore. These laxatives force the guts to pinch and cramp. About 8 hours later, you will poop. That's not okay because taking a gut stimulant, laxatives can actually make you can't dookie without using them. Other people will insert tubes into their buttholes and squirt water or salty water into their rectum. This is called an enema. About 3 to 5 minutes later, they poop. Although they are a bit messy, enemas aren't dangerous. The problem is if you take too many enemas, you can't poop on your own. Lots of fiber or bulk is the cure and choice for most stopped up people. They'll eat prunes, bran, raw vegetables, and raw fruit. Or they will buy fiber supplements or stool softeners from the store. Bulk producers and stool softening laxatives are okay to use because they don't force your gut muscles to push and shove the poo out. Instead, they help by adding moisture to the poop to make it easier to get out. 1 or 2 days later, they deliver the poop. This is probably the safest thing to do, but for most people, patience is the answer. Usually, the poop will pass if the, oh no, I didn't go today person just relaxes and waits. So we've got our beautiful picture of the guy on the toilet. You just need patience. You need to relax and wait. And there's a little blurb here that says, have you ever noticed the ads on the TV for constipation cures? The next time you see this type of ad on TV, pay very close attention. Would you be smiling like that, like the person in the advertisement, if you had this problem? A diet with a lot of cookies and sodas and other refined foods is one avoidable cause of this rear end problem. When food is digested, it collects in the last part of the colon and ends in the large intestines. Here, the body usually stores the poop or feces until you let it go in the toilet. If the poop doesn't have a lot of fiber or bulk, it'll stay in the colon. Water continues to draw away since the doo-doo stays in the colon longer than usual. The poop will become compact and hard instead of squishy and soft. At the toilet, the hardened turd doesn't come out easily. The rectum has to push and strain to get the poop out. To avoid constipation, all you need to do is eat fresh vegetables, fruits, and bran. Also, drink lots of water every day. Being too busy to answer the call of nature is another friend of constipation. Again, the poop will stay in the colon and gets hard. Then, when the too busy to poop person tries to relieve themselves, it just won't come out. So, poop regularly, don't hold it in. And then, here's a picture of good old mom. And there's a little blurb here, and it says, yuck, I hate castor oil. In the olden days, mothers lovingly forced teaspoons of castor oil down the throats of their children to keep their bowel movements regularly. And you complain about having to eat those fruits and vegetables? I didn't say that. A really, really bad case of constipation can cause fecal impaction. Fecal means poop, and impaction means that it becomes firmly stuck because of pressing. A fecal impaction is not something you want to request for your birthday. Nurses and doctors get the lovely job of removing the fecal impaction. Sometimes the patient's butt is put to sleep with medication. The doctor then goes into the rectum, breaks up the stuck poop, and pulls it out. I'm sure both the doctor and the patient are relieved when the whole thing is over. Not being regular is different for everybody. Some people dookie 2 times a day. Some people poop less often. So the next time you poop, patterns are irregular. Remember, it's okay if you don't poop every day. You drink water, eat fiber, relax, and this too shall pass. Goosebumps. What does a plucked goose look like? This all important, life altering question can be easily answered. Take a look at your own skin the next time you get frightened or chilly. That's what happens when the skin is plucked. The goose looks like. Thus the name goosebumps, goose pimples, or goose flesh. Take a very close look at your arm right now. Yes, immediately. Notice that you are actually very hairy. Humans used to have humans used to have a lot more hair, even more hair than your Uncle Fred. Through time, humans lost much of their hair covering. However, fine little hairs still cover most of your body. Each hair on your body grows from an opening called a follicle. Hairs have special muscles called erector pili that go from deep in the skin to the hair follicles. The erector pili acts as an erector to raise the hair from its resting position on your skin. If you have ever observed a chilly dove or a cold kitten, the animal will puff up its feathers or fur. The trapped air is warmed by body heat and it creates a warm blanket surrounding the animal. Humans do the same thing. When you get cold, the muscles at the bottom of each follicle will quickly contract, raising your body hair to help you warm up. The problem is humans no longer have fur. The follicles don't know this, so they contract to erect the hairs. The skin around the hair makes a bump to support that hair, but the most the mostly hairless skin doesn't have the same effect. The result is goosebumps. Getting goose flesh from fear could be a response to the cold sweat that automatically breaks out when a person becomes startled. You cannot control the sweat. The body is releasing the sweat to cool down. Instead, the body produces a quick response to warm it back up again, goosebumps. When dogs, cats, or bears become frightened, they ruffle up their fur. This makes the animal look bigger and tougher. Don't mess with me, I'm big and tough. When fearful humans break out in goose pimples for the same reason. Since humans no longer have lots of hair, they just look silly, not tough. So, do geese get goosebumps? Actually, under their feathers, they probably do. However, if you can't see them, are they really goosebumps? And look, you have that lovely picture of like a frightened goose with all the little goosebumps. And it says, no one knows for certain why goosebumps are called goosebumps and not chicken bumps, duck bumps, or turkey bumps. Shivering is a good way to keep warm. The shivers are actually muscles contracting. The working muscles give off heat and help you warm up. Even a completely bald man will feel his hair stand up from sudden terror. Okay, it's not actually hair, but it's that prickly sensation in the head. The final chapter we're going to do is hiccups. Hiccup, 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 boo, hiccup. I can't do hiccups. Humans have hiccuped through the ages. Cave people probably got the occasional attack. Even fetuses in the womb will get hiccups. Or is it a hiccough? Some medical people insist on calling them hiccoughs, but the noise itself is more like a hiccup. Often the hic in the hiccup is causing the air sucking into your lungs. The cup sound is made by a special little flap called the epiglottis, slamming closed over your windpipe. Hick, swoosh, cup, slam. These annoying and sometimes entertaining little oddities are actually difficult for your body to make. This minor event takes a whole lot of coordination inside your body. Hiccups, occur when a muscle barrier between your stomach and lungs, called the diaphragm, goes spastic. The diaphragm is all important for breathing. You breathe in, the diaphragm drops down to make a lung vacuum. So air sucks in. You breathe out, the diaphragm relaxes, goes up, and shoves the air out. Usually the diaphragm has a pretty good control, but sometimes it gets irritated and the rhythm is thrown off. Sometimes instead of hiccuping, you just hic. When this happens, the diaphragm is going through spasms. No one is quite sure why the diaphragm becomes so irritated. It could be from eating too much, so the puffed up stomach presses on the wall of muscles, or too much air is being sucked that affects the regular breathing pattern, or lifting something incorrectly tweaks the diaphragm. What is known is that almost everyone at some point upsets the diaphragm into hiccuping. So we've got the little pregnant girl hiccuping with the baby, and then we have this little dude carrying a pig. Let's see what it says. It says one day when he was 26 years old, George Osborne, an Iowa farmer, tried to lift a 350-pound hog. He started to hiccup. The farmer hiccuped through 2 marriages, 8 children, until his death 69 years later. He lived a normal life, except it was hard to keep in his false teeth. So much for the hic. What about the cup part? The cup part happens in your throat. At the end of the tongue, right before your vocal cords, is the epiglottis. This little flap has a serious job. It protects your windpipe from unwanted stuff like food. When you breathe, the epiglottis keeps the windpipe open. But when you swallow, the epiglottis shuts over the air pipe and reroutes the food down to the food tube. Food on the way, batten down the hatches. Sometimes the epiglottis gets a little confused, especially if you talk or laugh with your mouth full. You go, "Blah, blah, 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 blah." Your epiglottis goes open, close, open, 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 close, close, open. You go choke, 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 cough, cough, cough. Food hitting the opening of the windpipe causes an alert to expel rushes of air to push the invader out. And back to the cup part. The cup part, yes, the cup part, happens when the epiglottis frantically snaps the windpipe closed and stops that rush of air. Usually you don't hear the epiglottis shutting. However, in this case, slamming closed over the opening and it's halting a big swoosh of air. Cup, cup, cup. Nope, you can't have that happen. The cup always follows the hic. Nor you can have a cuffic cuppic. It is forever, it will be a hiccup. The short cure for hiccups doesn't exist. They go away in due time. However, humans have created a whole bunch of remedies. Hospitals may give hiccupers drugs to deaden the nerve that causes the diaphragm to contract. However, most of us just hiccup away until they go away. Hiccup, hiccup, gone. So that was Grossology and You. Stay tuned for the next 3 chapters, because the next 3 chapters we're going to be talking about knuckle cracking. We're going to be talking about moles, and we're going to be talking about rashes. Ooh. Grossology and You. And this is Melanie from Lake Beach Treasures. I hope you enjoyed today's installment of Great Moments in Literature. Take care, everyone.